Good morning, guys. I hope you like this top. Hi, guys. It's lovely to see you today. Beautiful morning here. It's very, very early. The ladies and men are sweeping up the flowers and the leaves, and it's just a really peaceful place here. I love coming here and meditating. There's just a place behind you here where I meditate next to a beautiful tree and a rock. It's beautiful. Today's a beautiful day, guys, and I'm sure we're going to get a few people coming to say hello, but maybe not. Let's see what happens. Okay. Whew. It's been quite a productive day yesterday. I managed to find some amazing Balinese carvers for my jewellery. They've already started. So carving in silver. The silver here is extra special. They showed me the difference between certain silvers from different countries, and when they melt them down you can see that some silvers aren't actually silver. There's only a part silver and the rest of it is not so good, whereas Balinese silver is pure silver. And yeah, it was really interesting. So a lot of my jewellery now, a lot of my beautiful pure energy healing. Oh, there's a black butterfly just come. It's gorgeous. So a lot of my jewellery very shortly now is going to be filled with beautiful Balinese hand-carved jewellers' work. So I'm looking forward to that. So all going well, really. Okay, today's an interesting subject because I had a few messages last night about how you're struggling a little bit with not having an affair. It's a really interesting one because it's something that I've tackled for many, many years, and obviously sat in front of people, that's one of the biggest things a lot of us have to go through. So should we try and tackle that? It's not for everybody because a lot of people won't be in that place, but I'm sure a few of you have thought to yourself, when you're in a long-term relationship or whatever relationship, there's times that you may brush past somebody, or there's times that you may have a conversation with somebody and you start to measure their whatever, that it's kind of like an illusion, right? You kind of put them on this big pedestal and think they're amazing, when actually most of the time it's not like that. It's just our want or need for perfection and love, and for somebody to love us and pay attention to us all the time. And obviously when it's a brand new meeting with somebody, there's a lot more energy involved because, well, first of all, you don't know each other, so a lot of the times you're trying to tell each other everything in a short space of time. A lot of ego in that, but that's like, two animals coming together and one of them's showing off doing their dance for you. It's a little bit like that. Obviously there's a lot of times when there's a genuine connection when two people come together and you can feel that connection, and I suppose that's what I'm talking about today a little bit, where you are in a long-term relationship and somebody comes along and kind of steals your heart for a moment. What do you do about that? And more importantly, what is that? I mean, what do you do about it is a different subject, but let me try and explain what it is, okay? So, first of all, I want to explain something to you which you might think isn't really relevant, but it is, honestly, because it's relevant to all of us, okay? So, over the past years, you've seen me, guys. A lot of you have seen me. A lot of you have worked with me as well. And a lot of you have asked me to come to your country. And at certain times when I go to certain places in the world, I'll end up being with a feminine, a lady who takes me everywhere and shows me where I need to go and what I need to do. What I found when I first began this work is that a lot of the feminine ladies fell in love with what I believed at that moment was me. And they were saying, Mark, you're so beautiful, you're so lovely, I wish I could be with somebody like that, my partner's not like this, I wish he could understand a little bit more, and I think you're amazing. And I was thinking at the beginning, wow, this is a little bit heavy. And as you grow, as you start to realize, it's like you don't say anything, you just kind of brush it off. And what I used to say is, no, I'm not, I'm a pain in the ass, trust me. You won't want to spend 1 week with me. I'm not like that at all. So I realized that what I was saying was the truth. The truth is that what people fall in love with a lot of the times is their illusion of who you are, but also the energy that you create, the energy that you are. So I realized that they were falling in love with the energy that I was working with, and that isn't you. That isn't me. A lot of the times we get this beautiful flow that comes into us. You're thinking, yeah, but I'm not a healer, I'm not a psychic. But you do bring in energy. When you're with somebody, this energy comes in for you to help them and make them feel better, because we're all healers, okay? So if you think to yourself that every day you're a healer, every day that you help people, that energy has to come from somewhere, okay? It's either comes from within you, which a lot of the times you pour your heart out and give them, which is unhealthy because it makes you weak, or you receive this flow of energy from the universe and you give it to them. And it's kind of, I see it because it's energy, I see it happening all the time. And I see it more importantly when a man and a woman come together and it's a brand new meeting, because I can see the power in that. I can see the flow running through. I can see the energy of the man wanting to be more powerful and using his ego, and all of a sudden you can see that there's becoming a kind of like a bond or a connection because of the energy. And thus we kind of want to believe that this person is the perfect person, and we want to kind of believe that this is what I have always wanted, and we put that into our head, and before we know it, we're measuring our partners to this new person. And one thing that always makes me giggle when I talk about stuff like this is when somebody comes to me and says, and it often happens, oh Mark, you know, I've met this new person, and oh, he gives me massages and he massages my feet when we're lying down. And I say, so how long have you been together? Oh, 3 weeks now. I says, well, give it 20 years and let's see if he continues to do that. In the start of any relationship, I often see this energy of a male or a female making this effort to want this beautiful energy, and then eventually that dissipates for a lot of people, and then they realize, well, actually this person's a human being like my last partner and the partner before. They make mistakes, they say things wrong, and okay, some partners might be better than others and more powerful than others, but in truth, what I think I'm trying to say here is, if you guys, any of you guys, have ever encountered or maybe encountering somebody that you think is far more suitable for you because of their energy and how they look and feel and what they say, just remember that you have willpower, and that willpower should be there for you to always remember and ask yourself many questions about why you're feeling this way. So willpower should be used in a really good way, not in a negative way. I'm not saying don't do it. What I'm saying is, this is interesting. Why am I feeling like this? Good start, good foundations to move forward without making a silly mistake. So now you're going to ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? Because if you were in a healthy relationship, everybody who passes you by from day to day, you're not measuring them with anybody, with your partner, because you're happy with your partner. So why would you even think about measuring it? Therefore, the first thing you need to ask yourself is, why am I looking at this person and feeling these feelings? Which inevitably, it's going to be what you already know. There is something wrong in either yourself or in your partner, okay? So therefore, any kind of trigger where you're starting to feel that you think you're falling in love with somebody else, my humble opinion, what I would suggest to any client is, you need to find yourself a neutral place, go down to the beach, go to a cafe bar that you've never been to, a quiet place in a park with your partner, and sit down with them and simply say, I really need to talk to you. And you need to be completely honest about this. Because you know what? How would you like it if your partner had the same feelings for somebody else? Would you want him not to tell you, or would you want him to sit with you and say, look, I want to be completely honest. There's something wrong with me at the moment. I don't know what it is. And I love you with all my heart, but there's something not right in me and the relationship. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming me. It's just something that's happening. And I want to try and fix it. I want to try and see if we can work it out or talk about it. And then he's going to say, what do you mean? What's wrong? Or she's going to say, what do you mean? What's wrong? Say, well, I've started to have feelings for or thoughts about what it could be like being with somebody else, and I don't like it, and I want to know why, and I'm trying to understand why I'm like this, and the last thing I want to do is hurt you, and I don't want to hurt me every day from having to feel like this, because I know you don't want to be with me if I'm feeling bad and feeling like this. So we need to talk about it, and we need to be honest. And I want you to be honest about how you feel about what I'm saying. Do you sometimes have feelings for other people? And is it just me? Is it just my issue? What is it? And then all of a sudden you might have a conversation and talk about it, and it might end up, whether it ends up heated, which hopefully it wouldn't, but if it does, there's something wrong in the heated conversation. Now you know that your partner might be feeling the same, so he might be angry and avoiding it. But I think initially it is better to confront the person that you're with, rather than make the biggest mistake in your life that you'll probably regret, which is the biggest challenge of your life, which is overcoming having an affair and doing something that your heart didn't want to do and knew was wrong. So for me, I always say this when I was in a relationship: if I ever felt something for somebody else, you would be the first person to know. And you might think, well, that's horrible, but it isn't horrible if you really think about it. It isn't. It's basically saying there's something wrong. It's not like I'm going to look for somebody else to be with. That's not what this is about. This is about something's happening and I have different feelings, and there's something not right. There's something out of balance. And you can always rekindle a relationship by truth. You can always rekindle a relationship by making an effort with each other and doing things together, and realizing that, well, to be honest, when most of the times you go off and don't listen to this information and have an affair, you realize within a few weeks or months that the person that you had an affair with is nothing like what you made up in your beautiful imagination. And then it's over, and then you look back and then you regret that you left your partner. That happens a lot, but then it's too late. It can never be fixed. There's always going to be that moment that if you do come back together, you know what, even at the happiest moments, you're going to remember that moment, and trust is going to be really challenging. So I think predominantly, if you do have those feelings of like, I need to be with somebody else and want to be with somebody else, I think the message today is be really honest with yourself, and then be honest with your partner, because there's nothing worse than doing something behind your partner's back. Now, there is a bigger picture, okay, and that bigger picture I'll finalize is this: everything is as it's meant to be. So you may have come to this world to experience this kind of feelings and this suffering. So there's nothing I can do about that. If you've gone through it and you think I'm a bad person, you're not a bad person, because ultimately the bigger picture is there's no such thing as wrong and right. And we all grow from what we've done, and we all make mistakes every day. So you may have kissed somebody else, you may have done something that you shouldn't have done, you may have slept with them, whatever it is. All of these things are about your spiritual growth, for you to understand, feel, because how can you ever understand it if you move back to the spirit world? Because you needed to experience that to feel what that was like. And you might say, why the hell would anybody want to experience that pain? That's a tough one to explain, but I think that if you're pure light, love, and you are everything and anything and ultimate awareness, sometimes you want to go through an experience that may be so challenging, you want to feel what it feels like. So that's my interpretation of the spirit world, of coming here and what we call making mistakes. There's never a mistake. So if you have done something in your life that you think, oh, I shouldn't have done that, good for you. At least you understand and know it inside. Now what are you going to do to make amends? What are you going to do to grow stronger? What are you going to do for your future? Are you going to understand this more and share this message with people more? So all in all, it's a good thing. It isn't a bad thing. But I think ultimately, if you want to be the wisest of souls, I think truth always conquers everything. Because if you can walk away as best friends, saying we had a wonderful experience together, but maybe, just maybe, it was our time to go. And all of those feelings and thoughts that are happening are maybe the universe trying to tell you, look, it's your time now because you're not feeling what you felt before with this person. So we're going to keep doing these things to show you before you realize that you're going to have to go. So maybe they're just signs for you to think, wow, why am I feeling like this? Well, good. If you start saying that, then you will confront the truth and you will be honest and open, and maybe, just maybe, you can part on beautiful terms and still be friends. This video is not about splitting up. This video is about going to your partner and being truthful. And I don't care what the outcome will be, because if you can be truthful, then you can sleep on a night and say, well, you know what? I did feel what I felt. I am experiencing these things, but at least I'm being honest enough, rather than 99% of people will not say a thing and just get on with it and do whatever they do. So be the stronger, be the wiser, and be truth. By being truth, you set yourself free and you will feel ultimately balanced every day. So I try to be truthful every day. So I hope some of this little gobbledygook made a little bit of sense to you guys. And if you are going through a challenging moment with your partner, you know what? Be honest, be truthful, but do it in a kind and caring way. Be kind. Don't throw it at them as if it's their fault, because it isn't just their fault. It is everything. It is far more than one or two things. There's a lot more going on, okay? So don't put pressure on yourself, but be truthful today. Okay guys, love you with my hand on my heart. I hope you like my top from a beautiful bud. Have a great day guys, I really mean that. And thank you once again, as you all know, for shopping at markbayevsky.com. A really nice Labradorite went last night to a beautiful soul, and you will love this Labradorite because it is you've chosen very well. You really have. Thank you, and see you soon. Yeah, well done.